What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we just talked about some great options for Thanksgiving, and it was requested for me to do a clone version. Some of you that want to check out maybe some great clone options, don't want to spend a lot of money, but still want to try to impress with your fragrance when you're getting those hugs at Thanksgiving. Well, I got you covered. I've got some of my personal favorites that I think suit the season and the situation very well. We've still got some more gourmand stuff, some more delicious stuff, and a few things that are to be taken seriously. So let's talk about them. Stay tuned. Starting with the ever so popular Liquid Broom, the French Avenue line from Fragrance World. Vanilla, delicious, woody, spicy, a bit of orange blossom. It is really good. I gotta say, it's a dead ringer for Altair. This is one of the most hyped clones in a long time, and one of the most justifiably hyped clones in a long time. They actually nailed this. Dare I say, this is possibly Fragrance World's best, absolute best singular clone fragrance. I don't know. You let me know. Do you feel the same way? I'm kind of starting to think that's the case. Great performance, creamy woody vanilla, like I said before. It just really does the trick. 'Tis the season for a food holiday. Beautiful vanilla fragrance in Liquid Broom. Next, we're talking Lattafa's Affection. So, why did I pick this over Paris Corner's Care Pistachio when I do slightly prefer that one? That's a brighter, fresher fragrance, whereas this is creamier. This is a bit thicker and sweeter overall, and I do lean towards the more gourmandish type fragrances when it comes to the Thanksgiving holiday. So this, I believe, would be the better choice in this particular situation. Fun night out, I'm going Care Pistachio. We're going to eat somewhere, I'm going with the more delicious of the two. This has that minty pistachio type of gelato ice cream kind of thing going on. The whole whipped cream cotton candy feel of Care Pistachio, but again, thicker and creamier overall versus the bright airiness of Care Pistachio. So if you've got this one, might be a good time to wear it. You'll notice I like a lot of vanilla for this type of situation. We're talking about Spectra Ghost, another one from Fragrance World. I've always loved this bottle. Similar to Nishane's Ani, another woody vanilla. This is more warm and spicy, even has a little hint of this booziness feel from the benzoin, even though it's not actually a boozy accord that's in this fragrance. It still gives a little bit of that feel. And you know, blindly, if you didn't know about this fragrance and I let you smell it, you might tell me, oh, it's kind of a boozy vanilla. It's just how it comes across to me. Very delicious and creamy, but again, just as woodsy as it is creamy vanilla. This is another delicious type of fragrance that's extremely intoxicating. Again, that's Fragrance World's Spectra Ghost. It's almost like a vanilla overload, but here we're talking honey. Vanilla and tonka bean, similar to a Lamal elixir. This is Paris Corner's Virilis. I know there's several others that people are enjoying, and that may be the case for a lot of these. Oh, what about this clone? What about this versus this? Well, I ain't doing this versus this here today, and I haven't tried every clone out there, guys. For me, I got this one not that long ago, and it is actually quite nice. I find it's a little bit fresher than actual Lamal elixir, but does a really good job overall. I find it's a little bit spicier as well, like that earthy tobacco accord that's in here. I find to be a little bit more presently spicy than it is earthy. But again, you get that Lamal type smell, the aromatic minty green meets vanilla, but you get all that powdery tonka bean mixed with it and that rich honey. Just sweet, delicious, really strong, extremely attractive. Paris Corner's Virilis. Boozy, spicy, chestnut, toffee kind of sweetness. This is good stuff. Now, not quite as good as the original, but for a dupe, it gets pretty close and does a good job. Another one from Fragrance World. This is Proud of You Absolute, similar to Strong With You Absolutely. Again, if you have Strong With You Absolutely, go with that. It is superior to the clone, but this is a pretty good interpretation of it. Does give a similar profile. I find this one to be a bit more woodsy overall. That's the biggest difference that I find between the two. It's not quite as boozy, but a lot of the other accords are pretty much spot on for the most part. Performance is really good, and it does smell like a Stronger With You flanker, so it's extremely attractive. It's Proud of You Absolute. I don't think this one's playing fair. I love this. This was my favorite of the three from this line. From Paris Corner in their Ophidian line, this is Black Cherry. Similar to Guerlain's Cherry Oud, and then there's another cherry fragrance that it's supposedly a twist on, but the notes are pretty similar to Cherry Oud from Guerlain. I haven't tried either of the fragrances it's supposedly a twist of, but I'll tell you what, as a standalone, this stuff's amazing. This is a darker, more smoky black cherry type of fragrance. Mouth watering. Literally make my mouth water. This is so good. I mean, so good. And the quality here is better than most of what we've talked about thus far. Clicks hardcore into place. And the bottle's actually quite nice. Not my favorite looking bottle ever, but it's a pretty good build overall. Its cap is strong, boy. And I can't get enough of smelling this. I wore this one about 2 weeks ago, roughly. And yeah, it's beautiful stuff. Perfectly unisex, but for being a cherry-dominant fragrance, it does have more of a masculine lean with the orientals, the woods, the resins, and such. It's a beautiful fragrance. It's Ophidian Black Cherry. Now, this one from Fragrance World's a dead ringer for what it's cloning. This is the one and only Moonlit Night, which is similar to Dolce & Gabbana's The One Luminous Night. I got stuck for a second. Luminous Night, this is Smokey Dates. Sweet, smoky, woodsy. Pretty spot on. Believe it or not, the Dolce & Gabbana's got a little bit better quality to it. I know, I said that about a Dolce & Gabbana The One flanker. But it does have a little bit better quality than this. But the overall profile is pretty spot on. I gotta say, it gets really close. I hate when they rip the bottles off. I get it, they're ripping the profile off too, but that stuff, I don't know, I just find it cheesy. The bottle looks cool, but it's too much of a rip-off, you know? Whereas stuff like this is a clone, but look how beautiful this original bottle is. I prefer stuff like that. I always have. But as far as the profile, like I said, this is another one that's kind of a dead ringer for what it's cloning. And it's perfect for this time of season, especially if you like fruity fragrances, that fruity, sweet, kind of dessert-like type of feel with some resins, a little bit of incense that gives it this smoky feel. Again, woodsy. Also, not a super deep and complex fragrance, but a super likable fragrance nonetheless. It's the one and only Moonlit Night. 'Tis the season for 1 million flankers, and the greatest autumn representative from the 1 million line has always been 1 million Prive, long discontinued to this point, so just get Paris Corner's Milano Prive. This is a dead ringer. This is another one that's spot on, because the quality is what and what, because that's a synthetic designer. Similar oils here. This is ambery, sweet, cinnamon spiced, a light earthy tobacco accord. So good. So good. Now look, I have 1 million Prive. I would just wear 1 million Prive. If you have the original, I would say go with the original. But if you've never gotten around to the original, dead ringer. Just get this. It's like 20 to 25 bucks from discounters online. It is cheap. It is an above average performer, not quite a beast. 6 to 8 hour range in longevity. Pronounced, really good sillage, super attractive, and it's pretty much spot on. Dead ringer. Like I said, a dead ringer for 1 million Prive. Did a great job with this one. It's in the Pendora scents line from Paris Corner. This is Milano Prive. So the tuxedo profile is a beautiful ambery, pepper patchouli, vanilla fragrance, mainly around vanilla. Here you get dominant cedarwood that gives it a bit of a twist, and I actually prefer that to any other clone of tuxedo. This is a newer one from Paris Corner. This is Rifaaqat Adorn. This is really freaking good. They have a sharper, dry, woody accord here. There's woody notes as well as a dominant cedarwood. And it's not too cheap of a smell. Like certain cheap cedars are just terrible to me. They just make a fragrance smell cheap. That's the best way I can describe it. Whereas here, not the case. And you get a lot of this benzoin, ambery type of smell. A bit vanillic. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Like I said, everything I've ever smelled that smells like Tux besides Tuxedo itself, this is it. Tuxedo's amazing, and I would say, if you got the money to spend, that's definitely the way to go. But if you want something that's really close to the profile with an interesting twist, if you like woody aromatic fragrances, because it's got a beautiful woody accord here, this is definitely worth checking out. Again, this Paris Corner's Rifaaqat Adorn. And last but not least, I would recommend any version currently available from Scentual Obsessions. We're talking about King Andy right here. This is a slightly fresher version of the old Andy Warhol clone. Bond number 9's Andy Warhol. Rich, juicy, sweet plum. Resins, amber, and oud. Amazing. This is still one of the greatest profiles I've ever smelled. I have smelled the original from Bond. I do have a decant that somebody sent me a year and a half ago or so, maybe even 2 years ago, and Scentual Obsessions nailed it. Every version that they've ever put out. Some are more oud heavy. This one's a slightly fresher plum. There's different twists he's put on it on occasion, but overall, the way to go, especially in the cooler weather. This gives you a gourmand feel from all that juicy fruit smell of plum. It's the best plum fragrance ever, in my opinion. With the character and depth of oriental notes like oud, with a slight funk to it. Other woody notes, spices, and resins that add a little bit of smokiness to it. It's ambery and warm, very, very warm. And they're crazy strong performers. Again, from Scentual Obsessions, this is King Andy. Well, that's the 10. I appreciate you checking out the video. I'll try to have what I can linked through YouTube's shopping affiliates, Joma Shop, Fragrance Net, places like that. Some stuff will be available, some stuff won't. Other stuff I'll have linked in the video description. Like for Scentual Obsessions, you got to go straight to their website. Some things you'll be able to get Aroma Concepts. Some stuff you'll be able to get at Fragrance Buy. I'll try to link everything as best I can down below for if there's anything you want to check out. If not, all good. I just appreciate you watching the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe before you leave. Catch you on the next one. Happy Thanksgiving.